Good morning. So yesterday I woke up, had some breakfast, and then I weighed myself, which is something that I don't do very often, if at all, but it was for the purpose of testing out an app called What's My FTP, an app that goes on my Garmin on my cycling computer and purports to be able to tell me what power I could push for an hour just by going as hard as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can, which for me is not very long at all because I don't have any climbs, any roads even, that are longer than 5 minutes long without getting to some traffic lights or having traffic get in my way. So I was going to be entering my way into this app, and then I was going to be travelling out to the countryside, into the Chilterns, where the roads are a little bit quieter and there's some steeper, longer climbs. And I was just curious to find out how close this app could get to my FTP, my actual power that I can push for an hour that I did from an FTP test, just from 3, 4, 5 minute climbs. So I was just curious. So we're going to go out into the Chilterns and give this app a good test and see how close it could get to my, I think it's 4.9 watt per kilo FTP. Just about 20, well, got shit on the camera. Just about 20 miles out of London. We're heading into the Chilterns to test an app called What's My FTP. So we're coming up to the first climb, Hudnall, which is a bit of an equaliser because you have to cross this really busy road. So everyone has to stop, otherwise you probably get killed, unless Strava really means that much to you. And you just go straight over. So I really like this climb, Hudnall. It's a continuous gradient, so there's not too many ups and downs for the first 3 minutes anyway. So at the moment, all I'm thinking about is nothing. I'm not thinking about anything. All I'm thinking about is relaxing my breathing, holding my breathing really steady and focusing on the numbers, focusing on 380 to 400 watts and whatever it takes to hold that, and just relaxing on that and keeping a rhythm, And this hill, Hudnall, helps that because it's so continuous, because there's no, the gradient allows you to hold your rhythm, and then it's just up to you whether you can relax. And then that is what I'm doing right now, just trying to relax my breathing, focusing on the numbers. As soon as I start to panic, that's when chinks open up in my armour and the pain starts to set in. But at the moment, I was feeling good, holding probably an average of about 400 watts. These are the parts that I hate, where it knocks you out of your rhythm. You're in this relaxed rhythm where you're able to hold the wattage and hold a certain cadence, but then these flat parts where it flattens out, it just knocks you out of your rhythm, and you have to change what you're doing and to keep the watts where you want them to be. So I'm trying to aim for 400 watts, and all of a sudden I'm going downhill again, and I have to actually really hammer it to keep the wattage at what I want it to be by the end of this segment. So really hammering it here, like I'm again. So on the uphill gradient, my cadence was much lower, and now as I'm going downhill, as the road undulates, to keep the wattage high, I'm having to really up the cadence, and that's all I'm focusing on now, is just keeping that wattage high as I possibly can, and that's with high cadence and sprinting. So coming to the end of this segment now, the 4 minutes, where we're going to find out what the FTP number was, what my FTP tells me is my FTP. .6 miles. So on the second effort, going up probably the most notorious climb in the Chilterns, probably the longest and notorious climb in the Chilterns, Ivanhoe Beacon. Never done this climb before, so I was kind of in the dark about how I should pace it. I guessed it was about 7 minutes long, so when in doubt, I just try and push 330 watts as my average. But at the moment, the gradient, there is a lack of gradient, which is proving difficult. I find it harder to push higher wattage when I'm on a flat road, so it's easier for me in my mind to get into a rhythm when I have a gradient. So at the moment, yeah, just trying to push an average of 330 watts for the next 3 minutes at least, because this actually isn't the start of the steep part of the climb. There's actually a road that you have to turn right off onto to start the actual proper climb. So this part is I'm still trying to just pace myself. Here we go, there we go, 330 watts, and it starts to ramp up in a minute. But again, all I'm thinking about is relaxing and getting into a rhythm. I just want to find my rhythm. That's all I'm worried about. Find a rhythm at 330 watts and push that for as long as I need to. So this is good now. I've found my cadence rhythm at around 100 reps per minute and 330 watts, and I want to be just concentrating on relaxing and pushing that for as long as I possibly can until I get to this junction in a minute at the top of this road, and then the climb starts proper and we actually go up to the top of Ivanhoe Beacon, which is what you can see in the distance there where that tree is on top. And yeah, we're going to be winding our way up that in a second. And at the moment, I'm trying to relax, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, because there's a T-junction that comes up, I'm hoping that there's no traffic stopping me from keeping pushing. Because with this app, with this What's My FTP app, you have to keep pushing. If you stop pedaling, then the app stops working, which is what I found. So I have to keep pedaling, even if I'm just pushing, a 1 watt, then that's fine. But I want to just keep pedaling, because if I stop, then I fuck the effort up and I have to start all over again. Wave to the cyclist. So here we go, here's the T-junction that I have to, I give a glance up the road on the right just to make sure there's no traffic coming down, and I go for it, and this is the start of the climb proper. So now that the gradient has ramped up a bit, and I know what to expect from the rest of this climb, I could just relax into my rhythm. I could find my rhythm and try and hold 360 to 400 watts. That's what I wanted to do for the rest of this climb. And that's what I love about doing these kind of efforts, is that it's a battle between you and your mind, and how still can you keep your mind. and when the gradient ramps up and I can find my rhythm, that's when I'm really good at battling my mind and the pain. That's when my armour is at its strongest, and I love the challenge that it gives me. That's why I like doing these short efforts, because you know, I could travel for miles and miles and miles on an endurance effort, and it would take me hundreds of miles to get the same feeling that I get from doing an effort like this, and the battle that I get with me and my mind, and seeing how far I can push myself. So already, I did this effort at 360 to 400 watts, and I felt after doing this I could have gone a lot harder. And that's what I'm going to go and do next time, which is what I love about this. I love that I can just go and to the nearest steepest climb and really test my mental toughness, and test my body, test my mental toughness, physical and mental workout that I can't get any other way, or I would have to travel hundreds and hundreds of miles on an endurance effort to get the same effect. And yeah, it's just proving how far can you go, and then how much further can you go than that. And because at the beginning of this, I didn't even realize that I didn't actually know if I could push this hard up this climb, and now I know that I can. I want to go even further, which is what I love about doing these short, sharp efforts. How deep can you go in your mind and your body? Because it's always further than you think. Come out the clearing from the trees, and this is the final sprint to the cattle grid at the end. Sprinting, squeezing out as many watts as I possibly can, and that's it. Let's see what result we got. 4.4. So after the 3 tests with the What's My FTP app, 3 separate climbs, 3 different efforts: Ivanhoe, Hudnall and Bison. Bison is the steepest climb in the Chilterns, but the results are very similar to Hudnall, so I won't bother showing you the footage. 3.5 minutes at 405 watts, weighing exactly the same. That was a 5.6 watt per kilo effort for the 3.5 minutes, and the app gave me a 4.4 watt per kilo as my FTP. So 4.4, 4.6 and 4.4. Very interesting results that make me think that the algorithm behind the app is just taking the watts per kilo that you did for the effort, extrapolating that out over an hour, and then decreasing it by a proportional percentage, which means that if you were to sprint full gas for the 6.5 minutes, then it would give you a better watts per kilo FTP, which doesn't make sense. That's not an accurate representation of your fitness, because the power you can push over an hour, you're never going to sprint for an entire hour and go full gas like that. The kind of fitness economy that you need for an hour's power is very different to that of a full gas sprinter. So to me, it just means that I don't have climbs that are long enough, or roads that are long enough, for me to be able to give this app a proper test, for it to be able to tell me accurately what my FTP is. And I think I would have to take it to somewhere like Crag Vale, where it's a 20-minute climb in Yorkshire, that would be able to accurately then tell me what my FTP was. So basically, I would have to just do an actual FTP test and then have this app tell me what 95% of that power was for it to give me my proper hour's power. But I know a lot of you will have roads, climbs, hills, mountains that are 20 minutes to an hour, and you'll be able to test this app out and probably give you a lot more accurate reading than I'm getting. But I'll be interested to know. Leave down in the comments below, download this app. If you've got a Garmin, use the Garmin Express app on your computer to sync the app to your Garmin. It's by Cert, called What's My FTP. And yeah, I'll be interested to know, how long was the climb, the hill, the road, whatever. How long was the road? How long did you have to push for? How much power did you push? How much did you weigh? Leave it down in the comments below. Cheers for watching. I'll see you in the next one.